You are now tuned in to Poppy Chulo Radio, your web portal for the best in pop culture news and interviews. The following is a Poppy Chulo Radio original program. The views and opinions expressed in the commentaries and/or interviews in the following program are solely those of the individuals and are not views of Poppy Chulo Radio, its parent, affiliate, or subsidiary companies.
Welcome to summer camp. Today is Sunday, January 11th, 2026, and I'm your host, Jeffrey Aruz. I'm joined by my summer camp co-host, Deidre.
Oh, did you want me to say hello? Okay, that was so different. Hi.
Parker James.
Yo.
Osiris.
Hello, everyone.
And A Sade.
Hey.
As Deidre noticed, for longtime listeners of summer camp, this episode is starting off in a different way because this is a special episode. I'm calling this episode Everything You've Ever Wanted to Know About Summer Camp But Never Bothered to Ask. And that's because we are officially kicking off our 10-year celebration. It's our 10th anniversary, listeners. It really is. Summer camp debuted on January 13th, 2016. And that means we have been summer camping. We've been stuck on this summer camp island for a decade.
Was that a Thursday night?
I don't know, but you can check. I'm
Was
sure
it
it's
always
easy.
on a Sunday? Or Wednesday night? Was it always on Sunday?
No, it was not always Sunday. It was Sunday when we came back from our hiatus.
Okay.
Yes, Aditya's making note of that. We like that. Yes. Back then, the original co-hosts were original moderator Maurice Gatewood.
Mo!
Yes, and she's like, oh, I remember him. Deadly,
Deadly!
our very own Deidre, and
Yay!
Legionnaire.
Yay!
Those were the four co-hosts for the very first night of recording. We had a gentleman by the name of Marlon Scott who could not make it to the first recording, but he joined the following week. Yes. So, listeners, I have no idea what my co-hosts are going to ask. I just tasked them. I was like, come up with some questions that you feel like the listeners or you would like answered. Our girl A Sade was like, oh, you want us to be messy? No, that is not the point, but I did say that I would be honest with any of the questions you guys had about summer camp. The good, the bad, and, well, I don't feel like any of us are ugly that are here. But, see, that was a joke. That was a messy joke.
Ugly. I could get ugly.
Oh. As you would say, oh.
You
All
know
right.
us, Poppy. You know
Yes,
us.
yes. No, we're fun. So I did say, because I did not ask what the questions were, but I did ask if anyone's going to ask just the general, like, important question about summer camp. So Deidre, you said, of course we have that written down. So go ahead and ask the question,
Me?
Deidre.
Why do I have to
Yes.
go first? No.
You're an
no.
OG, Deidre.
It's too late now. He already called on you.
Yeah, you're the OG of the
It is
OG.
not too late. We are not in school. College has ended quite some time ago. I am
Oh,
not
did it?
getting any kind of credits or cash for this. No. Okay.
She said, "Run me my coins."
She said she isn't getting any ass for this.
Okay. My first initial question is, what inspired you to begin summer camp?
I love that question. Was that everybody's question? I'm just curious.
I have something similar, but it's
Different.
yes.
Okay, cool. So summer camp, the idea from summer camp came upon Maurice Gatewood, actually. He pitched it to me. So, yes. So when did this happen? This probably happened, I don't remember exactly when, right? but it was at some point, we started this in 2016. So at some point in 2015, it might have been maybe at the end of spring when we were wrapping up, maybe it was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast or some other television show podcast that was wrapping up its season, which usually is around May. So maybe it was around then, or maybe that summer when Maurice was like, hey, we do all of these TV after show style podcasts week to week. Have you ever thought about doing movies? And I had maybe had a little thought of it, but because we were doing all of these other TV show ones, I really wasn't thinking about it at the time. And then once we started talking about it, he was like, oh, I've seen this other TV show that kind of, they talk about these classic movies and, maybe it might be kind of fun to do something like that where, we're already doing TV show stuff, maybe doing movie stuff. And, it could be like classic movies, campy movies. And that's when I thought of, you said campy and I said summer camp. And so we fell in love with the name. It's so simple, right? But we fell in love with the name. And so that's really where the concept came from. Like he gave me the idea and we strategized together. And that's really how summer camp grew and became the show that this show is. Well, not this one because we're not doing a movie, but you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's very cool. I like that.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So when I pitch all of these ideas, one of them could actually theoretically get picked up at some point.
Yeah, 100%. I never say no.
That's encouraging. I know, but I never follow up, so it's okay.
Well, that part.
That's fine.
Nothing wrong with that. You can
have
choose
ideas.
when to.
Yeah, it's just ideas. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Since I don't know what y'all are asking, is there a logical follow-up to this?
Well, I wouldn't call it a follow-up, but it's along the same lines of yeah, it's in the same line.
I think you're gonna ask what I want to ask.
I don't know. I really dug for this one. My question is, in your little description of the show, you say cult classics, controversial films, and I am actually curious on like what
the target
is your
audience?
No, almost.
Okay, so nobody asked that. I'm not.
What is the criteria for what is the criteria for controversial? And then which was the first one, and do you know the number of them total?
Oh, you want me to do math? Okay.
That's a big question.
I appreciate it. So initially, I think the script, it just said campy and cult classic. And so the first season was a traditional summer camp season. The second season was a haunted hayride season. And then the third season was what was then called the Holiday Hoedown. But now it's just the Holiday Extravaganza. So those were the first initial 3 seasons of summer camp. Then the year after that, I don't think we did a haunted hayride. I don't believe we did a holiday one. It was just a traditional, normal summer camp season. So initially it was campy and cult classic. After we started doing, like the haunted one and the holiday one, and even after we just started doing other films that I was just including in the bunch that weren't campy or maybe even cult classic, that's when I started adding the other descriptors because I just felt like it made sense because, we do fan favorites, we do trending movies, we do controversial movies. It just opened the door much more than just sticking to campy movies. So that's why the additional descriptors were added in. Controversial, I would probably say maybe the more controversial for the co-hosts films were the Ilsa films that we did. Over the course of summer camp, I know she's traumatized already, just even mentioning the name. But over the course of summer camp, like we did 4 Ilsa films, and those are sexploitation. And so sexploitation can be a little controversial. Probably, in my opinion, this is just my take on it. I think the most controversial film that we did is a French film called Irreversible, and that's because of the subject matter. I remember when it originally came out, like because of a lot of stuff that happens in the movie, a lot of sexual violence and graphic murders. We literally saw, well, I mean, it wasn't literally, but we literally saw it in the movie, right? I mean, it was all CGI and dummies and that kind of stuff, but we saw a man's head get crushed in. It was a lot. And so I know in the outside media world, that's a very controversial film. Do I have a number of how many controversial films we've done? I do not, my friend. I apologize. But I do know.
No. Don't apologize. It was just it was you said to come up with some questions, and I was like, oh, let me get my Barbara Walters on.
I appreciate it.
Yes, because there are quite a few. One of them being that Skinamarink movie.
Well, Skinamarink was controversial for Deidre.
I thought that was actually going to get
Deidre's gonna come and let you know.
Deidre, Skinamarink
gonna let you know what movies are the problem.
was very controversial. Yes.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my
So,
God.
Poppy, I have a
I was
question.
like, Deidre's probably going to say Skinamarink is controversial. I was about to put that in my notes, but I was like, you know what? Let me not be messy.
Oh, for once in your life.
Please chisel it on the wall. Yes.
I love how he's being
All right,
professional
Poppy, so I'm
tonight.
gonna
He's a
ask you the
journalist.
next question.
Yes, Sade.
So what is the actual target audience? Because I know that this can be controversial, things like that, but when you marketing it, who is the actual target audience? Because the person who wants to watch whatever Skinamarink is might not be the same person who wants to watch Winnie the Pooh, who is not the same person who wants to watch Wizard of Oz, who is not the same, well, Winnie the Pooh and Wizard of Oz maybe, but who is not necessarily the same person. What's that movie we watched, CB4 and some craziness with the rappers?
Yes, with the rappers.
Like it's just like, it's like a whole bunch of different kinds of campy controversial. So who is that person besides the movie buff that we are, marketing to?
I feel like you have to be at least movie curious to be interested in the podcast, right? So out of the gate, you have to at least be curious about film or be an actual movie watcher, clearly, to enjoy the podcast. Much like, we do the TV stuff. And so you technically have to be a fan of that show to want to listen to it, because if not, it wouldn't make sense. Although in years past, like I have had co-hosts that don't watch the show listen to the podcasts that they're not on to hear their fellow co-hosts and hear what they sound like on a different podcast. So like we have had that. I know that's very niche because that's our people listening to our people. But, sometimes people do stumble upon stuff and they start listening and that kind of thing. I've always wanted summer camp to be sort of like that silly, fun podcast where if you know any movies, even if you haven't seen the movies that we're talking about, because we're very light and fun, silly, goofy, a little shady, and that kind of stuff, like you want to listen because we are engaging. That's at least my hope, right? I do think if you are
it's more fall in love, like kind of like movies, but fall in love with the
correct
co-host,
because I feel like if you're curious about movies, like there's a spectrum, right? Deidre loves a spectrum. There is the movie curious side where you're intrigued by film, but maybe you don't know all the different genres, and you like some movies, but you're not as exposed to film as like, let's say, the other side of the spectrum, which would be a cinephile. I know Deidre always laughs at me because I call myself a cinephile. You know what a cinephile is? It's what all of us are here at the podcast.
Yes.
No,
James
a cinephile is a
yes.
person that
Yes.
one, watches film, and B, likes to ask questions about film. cinephile does not mean that you've seen every movie in the world. Cinephile does not mean you collect DVDs or have the various streaming apps. It just means that you like movies and you like talking about movies. Like, you like to talk about not just the abstract stuff, but the like the cinematography. You like talking about the dialogue. You like talking about the visual effects, the stunt people. Like, you like getting into the nitty-gritty of the film. So I think, if you're cinema curious or a cinemaphile that's like going down into the nitty gritty of the film, like, you'll enjoy the podcast. At least that's my hope, right? I mean, we get the download, so I would assume that people are liking it. Fingers crossed. They're hate listening.
Okay.
So
The next question doesn't follow that.
Oh, okay. But it sounds like your twin flame is about to ask me something.
excuse me?
Oh.
You took offense to that? I was
Oh.
smiling on mute.
Oh, she was smiling on mute.
Like, I had to run back to the little thingamabobby so that I could push the button because, excuse me, what?
Wrong road, Parker James.
No, go ahead. I'm going back on mute. I'm sorry. It was false outrage.
No,
Wow.
but when you select a movie for the week, what goes in your mind, or even for a season? Let's go small to big. So for a week, what goes into your mind when you select a movie? For a season, what goes into your mind when you select the movies?
Parker James is digging in, and I love it. I was hoping I was going to get this question because I feel like that's a question maybe the listeners don't have, but my co-hosts have specifically, which I'm here for.
Yeah.
So when we started off summer camp, the very first season that we did, there was really no theme to it. Like, we were doing films that were, I mean, like, for instance, listeners, the subsequent 2 movies that we will be discussing after this podcast, those are the first 2 movies that we did on summer camp, period. Like, we're doing a rewatch because it's the 10-year anniversary. The cast, as I mentioned, is clearly very different than the one that started 10 years ago. So, I was like, why not revisit it? I did not know that this podcast would be existing in 10 years. So the fact that we are here, might as well do something special and revisit the very first 2 movies that we did on summer camp. So the tone and the themes, very different. Like, one is hagsploitation and one is a female focused, almost like dark comedy from the year 1950. So the very first season, it was kind of like that. It was just a little bit of everything. If it fit into the campy or cult classic criteria that was initially set, those were the movies that were done. And initially that season, Maurice and I talked about like what we would want to do. And much like I get suggestion from you guys, because he was the moderator and we had worked with the co-host clearly on other podcasts and that kind of stuff. Because it was like Maurice's brainchild that he allowed me to grow and to expand into what it's become today. I included him and I was like, I want to know what movies you think would be good. And so we made a list together. Then we did the Halloween, the Haunted Hayride, and the holiday season, and those had a bit more of a stricter theme, right? Horror, basically supernatural stuff for the haunted one, and Christmassy, holiday-y stuff for the holiday one. And once we started doing those, it kind of clicked in my head. It made more sense to try to link the movies together, so that it isn't, we're doing maybe a tearjerker, Grave of the Fireflies, and then all of a sudden we have, like a screwball comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that in my mind, it didn't really fit. And so I was like, let's organize it and let's make it so that the night is themed. It could be themed to a genre of film. It could be themed to a particular actor, or it could be themed to a director and that kind of stuff, or maybe a studio like Studio Ghibli and that kind of thing. So that's where the theming came from, period. How the movies are selected, Some of them are movies I know. Some of them are movies I've heard of. Some of them are movies that I see are trending. Sometimes viral clips happen of movies of the past and that kind of stuff. That can inspire a movie being selected for summer camp. You guys have recommended, not just you all, but like even previous co-hosts would recommend films, and so I jot them down. And I know that I sometimes don't get to them ASAP, but I do end up getting to them eventually. So that's how some movies have happened. Sometimes I end up seeing the top lists of this, a particular genre or niche. And I'm like, oh, okay, that might be kind of interesting. I am following a lot of different film pages on the socials. And so they will post stuff and that'll inspire a summer camp type of situation. So that's how movies are picked for the most part. Also, listen, I don't, as much as y'all might think this, I don't pick movies to torture anybody with. I do promise that. Because listen, I do know everyone here has their no list. Like if it's a musical, if it's
and you
anything,
do not care about that no list at all. You know that it's on the no list.
No, but
and
listen,
you're like, hey Sade, you're gonna hate this one.
No,
Deirdre, buckle up, Buttercup.
I know that. Listen, Deidre's not gonna like Deidre. Middle name, last name is not gonna like a musical, and she's not gonna be here for really anything horror. That I know for a fact.
She did good. You got to give her credit. She did what she needed to do this Halloween.
No, correct. That's what I'm saying.
You got to give Deidre her credit.
Sade typically does not like films where they don't talk a lot.
You could have just stopped right there. Sade does not like films.
No, but
you could have just stopped right there.
If they're not talking, I understand. It's probably not going to be a good movie for you. Allegedly, our diva does not like franchise. That's his new buzz phrase. Franchise installments, and he does not like films that are not targeted to him. He's not the target audience.
He's not the target audience.
Yeah. And Parker, typically if it's black and white, not always, but 95% of the time, he's not going to like it. Maybe anything before 1980.
65. Let's put that at 65.
Okay, there you go. Yes, anything before 1980, there's a 65% chance he might not like it. Yeah, that's how it works. But I mean, there are surprises. Deidre, she loves The Wiz, and we were all witness to her loving The Three Caballeros and Saludos Amigos. And she may not like a horror movie, but sometimes there will be one that she'll say, I will never watch this movie again, but it gets a 10. So there are miracles and this, that, or the other. I am always hopeful that people like the movies, but I try not to, unless I know specifically you don't like something. We do everything. So yes, at some point, something you don't like will pop up. That's just the nature of the game. But I always hope that it isn't a bad night for people. I do. And to get to the second part of your question, because I went off on a slight tangent, how the themes happen. I always wanted something for Halloween time, so I always wanted a horror-centric one. I always wanted a holiday thing because I'm a holiday person. So the holiday stuff just made sense. And because there are so many films in that genre, it just made sense to do. The other ones that we have done special edition seasons. We've done like a Diva season. That just made sense to me in my mind. That one sort of came out of the blue. The Rocky Horror season that we did, science fiction double feature, in which we did the movies mentioned in the song science fiction double feature that opens up the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That one just popped into my head one day, and I was like, oh, that might be a good season. That would be interesting, and I counted the movies, and I was like, okay, that's like a season's length of movies. And I had that one in my back pocket for maybe a year or two before we actually did it. The Oz one happened because I knew we were going to do Wicked, and I was like, well, let's do Wicked and the Wizard of Oz. But then I was like, but there are all these other Oz movies. And so I was like, maybe we could do a season. I know that two of my co-hosts were kind of sick of it by week 2. And I do apologize for that. They were stuck in that damn hot air balloon. But, they powered through, and I'm appreciative of everybody. So there's
Powered
that.
through.
I would
It's
like
not
my
the
cookie
word.
for being one of those people.
Yes,
Powered through is not the word.
I know. They were sipping on that little green tincture
The
the
struggle.
wizard had. Yeah,
I felt so bad for everybody.
I know.
My
And you
God.
were enjoying yourself. He
Because I
still
love the
quotes.
Wiz. I like.
Yeah.
I
There
love
are
the
no
Wiz.
more, are there? Like, we're not going to do that no more, right?
I don't think
Like,
we're gonna do like an Oz night. I don't
but like,
think.
if there's a new iteration, it could pop up and we could be subjected to,
Potentially.
like, it's a one-off.
A one-off, which we like a
Oh,
one-off.
joy.
Yeah,
Because we just discovered that there's another one.
Yay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Coming out
That's why I
with-
asked, like, is that in the charts for us? It is. Okay.
potentially.
There's a
I
high
don't want to
chance.
traumatize people too much, but
There's a high chance.
yeah, as Jamie Lee Curtis would say, trauma. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm pouring wine right now at the thought.
Yeah. I mean, it's scary. It's fine.
Oh, you want to hear another question?
Oh, okay. Oh, Deidre, that was the perfect segue.
No, I just picked up my list. I was like, oh,
Yes.
let's
She's
see.
like, oh, I got stuff. All right.
She's got a whole list.
Mhm.
Come on, list.
Okay, so how many overall during the last 10 years, how many people have you asked to participate in summer camp, and how many have declined?
That's a shady question.
No.
No.
You said a little
I'll
bit of
put-
mess.
No, I
I
don't mind
can
it.
ask the question in a different way if you like.
Okay. I'll be honest. I don't think I've.
Bessie, baby.
You don't really ask people.
I don't think
Like, you put it out there.
Yeah, I
but you
put it
don't
out
ask
there.
like that.
I don't think. Well, hold on. No, because I think I did. Okay, so I'm going to get into a different story that's going to somewhat answer this question in a way. So summer camp, we did summer camp for all of 2016 and half of 2017. And the way that we did summer camp, like, it was broken up in seasons and that kind of thing. Summer camp went on hiatus after June of 2017. And that's because our original moderator literally went MIA. Like, I know he's alive and well and thriving and doing his thing, but he literally disappeared. He disappeared. He stopped talking to me, texting me, emailing me. He stopped co-hosting, period. Technically, I have no idea why he left.
Are we speaking about Mo?
We're talking about Maurice, yes. Technically, I don't know why he left. I am just told by the co-host that because I was there, clearly. I was not an official co-host at the time. Clearly, I was not moderating, but I was there as the producer, hitting the record button, checking in if there were any technical glitches or audio glitches. I was there that night. I did not think the night went wrong, but everybody else the following week when Maurice did not show up basically told me that it went wrong. And so at the time, because we were doing all of these other podcasts, TV-oriented podcasts, I'm trying to think. I don't have the timeline in front of me right now, but maybe reality was happening and other podcasts were going on. At one point, as we were doing Papi Chulo Radio, period, I was doing anywhere between 10 and 15 podcasts during the week, which was a lot. But I was 10 years younger, so it was a little different, right? So because we lost Maurice, and because the co-hosts that were doing summer camp were also on other podcasts, I was like, well, let's just take a breather from summer camp. Nobody really sort of stepped up to be like, oh, since Maurice is not going to be with us anymore, I want to moderate. And so it felt like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to moderate, but because I'm doing everything else, like I didn't want to take over another podcast. So I was like, let's take a breather. Then COVID happened. And in spring of 2020, because I knew nobody was doing anything, and because a lot of the TV stuff that we were doing was going on hiatus because there were no episodes left to be released because, it was lockdown situation and that kind of thing, I hit up a handful of people that had done summer camp before or that had that were good talkers, right? That we had on other podcasts. And I was like, hey, listen, we're not doing anything. It's been so that was 2017, 2020. It was like a little over 2.5 years since we had recorded summer camp. I was like, let's do summer camp. We're not doing anything. Let's get our minds off of lockdown and all that kind of stuff. And everyone said yes. And the only person that said yes that didn't actually follow through, since Deidre wants the messy part of the question, is a woman is a woman by the name of Carla Stillwell. Shout out to Carla. Like, I invited Carla to join us. She had not done summer camp. She tried to guest one night.
Hey, Carla.
Hey, Carla.
She's busy though. Carla was doing a lot.
No,
of
she's
stuff.
a busy woman. She tried to guest one night of summer camp, so I knew there was an interest in summer camp. And when I asked her, she said, "For you, anything." But then sort of something came up, and she did not ended up like recording anything for summer camp, which is fine. I still adore me some Carla Stillwell. But yeah, that's the only person that said no. Other than that, like, I really just sort of put it out there, and I asked people like, hey, do you know somebody that might be interested? Or social media posts like, hey, this is the show that we're doing. Are you interested in doing it, basically? And people will respond. That's how we got Parker. That's how we got Osiris. Osiris had hit me up earlier in the year before he actually joined, and he was like, I'm down, but then he's like, I can't do the time commitment for whatever reasons, and then he ended up joining us in the fall of the same year.
Oh, that's nice and everything, Poppy. I was just looking for numbers, not names. I mean, you just really went there. You went deep.
I mean, I love
so
Carla. It's
deep.
nothing
I
bad.
just needed numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, like, okay, over the years, did you ask like about 100, maybe 200 people, and, this many of them said, yeah, and, others were like, but that's okay.
Yeah,
We're
I
here
appreciate
now.
it. Yes.
We're here now. Yes. And my last question is, do you see or anticipate or are considering having another show, another line, or another aspect of the show? Yes. Of anything? Are you going to do any television again, or
we're still doing
another
TV.
aspect of
Oh.
You are? I'm not on any of the damn show. What TV
Me
shows
neither.
are
He
you
don't
doing?
invite me to nothing else,
Well,
girl.
no, the
What
problem.
the hell are you doing?
No,
Because
this
I'm
is the
like, wait.
the problem is, and it's no shade to summer camp. I've mentioned this before over the course of because I know
you don't
Parker.
want to overwhelm us because we.
I really
record
don't
3
want to
hours
overwhelm
on
summer camp because
Sunday.
this is already a 2.5-ish hour commitment. So I usually don't offer summer camp people other stuff because I mean it's
What are
already
the
a
other
lot.
shows, Poppy? What are the other
Like
shows?
we
What shows
do,
you
we
watching?
still do like we do any of the Marvel Disney Plus stuff. American Horror Story, we still do whenever the hell they release a season. We do Big Brother. We just started doing
you
the
got a
Traitors
whole
again.
life outside of us. What you got going on?
Yeah.
I swear to God.
What is her
He
name?
got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, we still do the
name?
TV stuff. It's not as much as before because, I mean, 10 years ago in the big heyday, I mean, we had Shondaland stuff that we were doing. We had Empire. We had like the Arrowverse stuff going on. Like there was a lot more stuff that we were doing then. Now, to be quite honest, it isn't as much a week-to-week type of situation unless streaming
Sure.
does
Because
release them
even
week to
how
week.
the TV shows, TV shows don't even release the same movie.
Yeah, a lot of them are binged. Like they do like
Yeah.
major drops of them. I think the
You
only
know what
real
you should do? His and Hers that just came out and people seem to really like it. I read the book and now I'm on it.
Oh,
So
interesting.
just plugging that. Yeah, His and Hers work.
I do love a
doing that. I read the
suggestion.
book.
I think
Yeah, I
Big
read the
Brother
book
really
and
is the
I'm
only
good.
thing really week to week, and Traders is released week to week. But outside of that, a lot of the Marvel stuff is binged, or they'll do it in batches. Like they did Ironheart 3 episodes, and then they did another 3 episodes. So
I got
it's
a
working a
question.
little differently. Yes, go ahead.
So over the course of summer camp, have there been any movies that I would say, or you would say, are your top 3, so that you don't have to narrow it down to one of them? Like something that you hadn't seen, and once you saw it, you were like, "Oh my goodness, why hadn't I seen this before?" Those 3, and then three that you just like were like, oh my god, why like how's this get made? Like this is terrible. This is awful, awful. And maybe two or three that you really, really want to do, but you're hesitant, but like they might be coming. So three, three, three.
I like your question, Sade.
I like that
Thank
question.
you.
That's a hard question for spontaneous. I wish you would have actually prepped me for that one.
Nope.
No,
Nope,
but
nope,
I'm
nope.
here for it.
You're
No, that
supposed
one's
to
so
Nope, nope, nope.
difficult.
Get what you get.
Because I
They don't have
know
to be the firm forever answers. They just
No,
gotta be
yes.
like, you know,
I know that recently, I don't remember what it was.
the
Over the
one where it was
past,
pooping on people
no, there was
during Pride Month.
there was a movie that we watched recently-ish, and I know you guys were surprised that I gave it like a 0. Like I agreed with all of you.
I
don't
remember when you gave it a 0.
I
That
don't
was
remember what it
past
was.
couple
Maybe
months.
I'm blocking it from
Yeah.
my mind because it was so horrific. We saw Cats, the musical. That was also not a well-received one. And at the time, with our co-hosts, I asked everyone to please not miss that recording, and they were all kind of mad at me that that was really the only time when I really was like, please everybody show up next week. Like, I don't want any of you to miss it. And it wasn't because I really, really wanted them to watch Cats because I knew it was going to be bad. It was because I didn't want someone to call in and be like, hey, I can't make it. And it's because they didn't want to watch Cats, because everybody did not want to watch Cats. And I didn't want said person to have not made it and then all of a sudden hold it over everyone else's head like, oh, I didn't watch it. You know what I'm saying? So I did not want people to miss it because I did not want anyone to be able to say, ha ha ha, you guys watched it and I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So that was one where I was like, please everybody show up. Like, this is a mandatory night. I've never done it again because I don't think I've never intentionally had us watch something that I knew was going to be horrific. Have we watched horrific stuff and have people not like stuff? Yes. But, I always have high hopes. As far as that I love, like we watched over the course of 10 years, we have watched some of my favorites. Like I love Double Indemnity, which, fun fact, that will be on a rewatch when we do our 10-year season.
Black and white.
Yes,
and white,
I love Double Indemnity. That's one of my all-time favorites. Like I'm trying to think what else. I love While You Were Sleeping. That's a holiday movie. That's one of my all-time favorites. Batman Returns, another holiday one. That's an all-time favorite. So those, I don't think those are my all-time. Oh, I love The Net, and we watched The Net, and that was for a movie that was in the 90s.
Sandra Bullock?
Yes, it was still so ridiculously relevant for the times, even though the technology is kind of different, right? But the theme of that movie about identity and identity theft and what people can do with your identity online is still incredibly relevant. So those, like, I remember right now, I'm remembering movies where we had just interesting conversations, may not necessarily be favorites, but like, I love the conversation that we had about zoos and preservation with fierce creatures. There's this other movie, I don't know if Deidre remembers it, but it was called The Gnome Mobile. I don't know if you were there for that season, but it's a movie about gnomes, right? It's like this kitschy movie from the 60s about gnomes, but it has to deal with it has to deal with conservation and deforestation and that kind of stuff. And we had an actual really interesting conversation about deforestation, and the cast had no idea we were going to go that route. And it's this silly little movie about gnomes. So that's like stuff that pops into my mind.
Was that a foreign movie?
No, it was like a 1960s Disney movie.
No, definitely
starring
didn't see it.
the boy and girl that were in Mary Poppins.
No.
Yeah, the brother and
Definitely
sister.
didn't see it.
And as far as anything that surprised me, the only thing that I can think of recently, because I said this on the podcast, rewatching The Wizard of Oz as an adult, it gave me a new appreciation to it. The Technicolor marvel of it all. Yeah, that was probably one. And also, like, any movie that I had never seen before, and I'm watching it for the first time on summer camp. Like, I think I said this with maybe last holiday with Queen Latifah. I was like, why have I not watched this? Like, it was so good. This should be something that I've seen many times by now instead of this being my first time. So sometimes there are gems that have gone under the radar, but I know would be good on summer camp, and it's going to be good for me to watch it.
Cool.
So my
Great
next
answer.
Thank you.
who is, or who will be your favorite co-host?
Oh, that's
Ooh,
messy.
that is
Why you
messy.
asking questions where he got to say it's me? Why
Oh.
you asking questions when y'all know what the answer is? Poppy
You are very
tolerate
right,
way too much
Nashada,
out of me.
Messy.
Yeah.
He
Messy,
tolerate way too
messy,
much from me
messy.
on air and off air for it to not be me. He can't tell y'all that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there so that we can take me out the running. Who is your favorite co-host outside of me? So
Right.
we don't even have to talk about me.
I appreciate it. I do wonder, can I ask what people think, who people think my favorite co-host is?
No, what we're not
Oh,
gonna do is have
Among
time
Us?
out.
Oh, Jesus, like Among
I don't
Us.
think you have a favorite.
I don't have a favorite per se, but I will say this,
Or
and it's
mommy.
going to sound cheesy and kitschy, right?
I think you like us for different reasons, and
No,
you
I
love us
do.
for different reasons, and
100%.
we like fill certain roles. Like if there's
Yes.
something that's not there, then you're like, oh, I'm missing this specifically tonight
Right.
because I think
100%.
that we're your favorite for this or for that.
That is the correct answer. Everyone does fit their role, and everybody likes a certain thing, and everyone, will notice something in a movie. Like, I watch these movies and I am thinking about, oh, I think the teacher's going to talk about this. Oh, Osiris is going to notice that. Oh, Parker is going to hate this. Like I notice that kind of stuff, right? So if you guys do miss a night, like, I'm like, oh, damn it, I would have loved to have heard what Parker or what Sade would have said about this. You know what I'm saying? So everyone fits their role. I will say this. This is going to sound cheesy and kitschy and all that kind of thing. But for years, for like many years, like I said to myself, I don't know if summer camp can exist without Legionnaire or without Deidre. Because I see both of you as like the OGs of the OGs. Like both of you were here from the beginning, and like we've had OGs drop. Maurice ended up vanishing. Marlon Scott, like I don't think he went beyond that first season. Maybe he did a little bit of the holiday stuff, but then he ended up vanishing. Deadly, ended up taking a break and never returning. And so the OGs were Deidre and Legionnaire. And then about 2 years ago, Deidre initially was going to retire completely from summer camp. But then I don't know how we got her to say once a month.
They just pull me back in
we
every
just did.
time.
And she started doing once a month, and then we would sometimes get her for a little bit longer time, and we appreciate any time we can get with Deidre. And then we lost Legionnaire last year, and that was a big gut punch for me and for Papi Chulo Radio and for summer camp. But in my mind, even though he's no longer with us, I still would say Legionnaire and Deidre. Like I can't see summer camp without them. In my mind, like I know Legionnaire is not with us, but in my mind, I'm like Legionnaire could return next week. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I see it in my mind.
And that's a good thing. That's
Yeah.
okay. I mean, we are Legionarians after all. But
Yes. He will always be in the fabric of summer camp.
Yes. Very true.
Did we cover everything? Was there anything else that anybody wanted to ask before we wrap this up? This one a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I am loquacious. What can I do?
I do believe that
Yes.
there will be more questions as we go along. So
Oh,
you
it's
may
just
as
gonna
well just
pop up.
prepare yourself.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I like a sneak
Oh,
attack.
yeah. hmm
All right. Well, listeners, I don't know if it answered anything you wanted to know, but it answered what my co-host wanted to know, and that is important to me. So I do thank you for listening to this freeform version of summer camp where we're not talking about movies. We're talking about how we make the podcast, which is very interesting. Listeners, if you don't know, I'll just give some fun facts. We do record this on Sunday nights. We record 2 movies at a time. We usually take a mini break in between both movies. And that's how we've been doing it ever since spring of 2020, because we, besides like mini breaks, we have not done the extended hiatus that we took after the original moderator, Maurice Gatewood, left us mysteriously into the night. He went to pick up a carton of milk, and he never
Oh
came
my
back to the
God.
summer camp grounds.
I wonder if he and Doc got married. But
Oh, we will figure that
that's
out at some point, Deidre. Yes.
yeah.
But listeners, I want to thank you so much for tuning into this special edition of Summer Camp. My co-hosts, please wish the listeners a good night. Starting off with the OG of the OGs, Deidre.
This really isn't good night. This will be continued.
Oh, okay. Very
That was so
ominous.
ominous.
And I'm here for it.
Yes.
Ominous?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very dramatic.
Parker James.
The drama is here. Good night.
Osiris.
Good night, y'all.
And A Sade.
Happy 10 years, y'all. Good night.
Thanks for tuning in. Lights out.
Woo, that was good. So I'll see you guys in a couple of more weeks, right?
Good night. I'm over it. Good night.
I can't
All
do that.
done. Bye-bye.